Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm going to do a little more about my journey into serious alcohol issues and subsequent recovery after drinking for 47 years or so. There's a lot to cover, isn't there? I'll not make them too long because you'll get tired of all the information, but briefly, I started, I think, like a lot of us, dabbling in alcohol at ages 14, 15. Was a heavy drinker by the time I was in my early 20s. Married, then had a child at 30. A lot of pressure on the family, maybe, because I was miles away from any support. It was just myself, my wife, and my child. I had a high pressure job, so did she. That's no excuse to drink, I know, but that's how it starts sometimes, isn't it? When you get a little bit stressed and you have another drink and have another one and another one. And my heavy drinking or problematic drinking was probably when I was late 30s, early 40s. And I tried to stop because everyone said, "Oh, just stop, just stop." In those days, it was just family were trying to support me, but just stop drinking. You're just a drunk. You'll be fine. Just stop. But as we know now, if you've been drinking a long time, you're drinking large quantities, to just stop can be fatal. And I did stop suddenly. I had half a day off, and I ended up having a seizure in the afternoon, and I woke up in the middle of the high street in a small town um, with an ambulance crew there and some members of the public. I didn't know what had happened, but I felt before I had the seizure, I felt a bit shaky, or very shaky, as if I couldn't control my movements. However, I signed a disclaimer and I didn't go to hospital. It was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. From then, my father was nearby, so I just rang him. I said, "Can you pick me up?" Which he did. So I went back to his house, to my parents' house for a little while. Because by this time I'd come home for a little while to try and get sober. So I sat in the house for a couple of hours. About 6 o'clock, I said, "My dad, God, I feel really, really, really ill. Could you take me to the hospital?" He said, "Yeah, we'll just put you in the car. It's only about 10 miles away." The next thing I knew, I was in a local hospital with doctors surrounding me in the A&E department. And I felt as bright as a button, actually. I don't know really what happened. I obviously blacked out. I had another seizure um, in the hospital, and they gave me some Valium. They told me to go and see the doctor next day, and she gave me some diazepam, which weans you off alcohol. She told me it was like alcohol in tablet form, really, which over the years they did prescribe on and off when I had relapses, but in the end they stopped prescribing it. And I became very seriously ill in 2019, where I was blue lighted into hospital, and the doctors basically said, "You've got this liver issue, and it's very, very, you're very, very ill." This is obviously a bit of a shock, a massive shock. I knew it was prior to 2019. I knew I was getting worse. My physical health was worse, but I was always of the opinion that drinking lager you'd be fine. I wasn't drinking anything strong really. I wasn't drinking any spirits or wine, but there's still ethanol or poison, as it were, in lager and beers and all this sort of thing. So 2019, I went to hospital, seriously ill. Kept in a couple of weeks. They drained off a lot of fluid, gave me some protein drinks, tried to build me up a little bit. 2 weeks isn't enough after years of drinking. Prior to that, had been on and off. As I said, relapsing, that's the biggest thing, the biggest problem, I think, the relapsing. So, getting to 2020, still very ill with all the carry on. A couple more procedures. And I started to feel slightly better early 2021. And I started to put a little bit of weight on and just focus on getting well, really. And tried to be positive about everything. I knew I'd been seriously ill, and I was just clinging on to things, really. And I watched a few motivational videos and all this sort of thing. Started to exercise a little bit because I couldn't walk properly, because it takes so much out of you, alcohol. and you become, housebound really. I was for a long time. I wasn't able to go anywhere. I lost all my confidence. I was nervous around people. I was paranoid. I was worried about everything. And as I started to recover, I thought, well, I've got to fight this. I've got to really push it. Now, I've read some statistics recently that say that 90% of people who've got alcohol issues never seek help. And of the 10% that do, only one of those will make it to full-time recovery. Now, whether or not that's true, I don't know. But I'm determined to get people that watch this channel to recovery, because my life has completely changed. It's so much better now. I've got lots of friends, I've got a new partner, I can do more, I feel more financially secure. I'm not spending hundreds, if not thousands of pounds a month on alcohol. I don't feel trapped, I feel free. I'm getting myself fit. I eat well. I'm going to be posting some nutritional videos on here about what to eat, how to detox your liver, how to get into this zone of being super healthy, really. Because we can't drink anymore, so we might as well put our efforts into being healthy, being fit, and trying to live a bit longer and have a better quality of life, because life's very short, as we know. Then every day we drink, we shorten our lifespan. And as I mentioned before, heavy drinkers, alcoholics, we cut 20 years off their life, at least. It's a big chunk of life to lose, isn't it? Plus, all the time when you're drinking, you're going to feel groggy anyway, aren't you? It's great to wake up and feel fresh. I think, well, what should I do today? Or plan something. I mean, I'm in a good position. I'm retired. I know some of you aren't. It's probably more difficult to just say, right, I've got to focus on this, got to focus on that. But there is a way around it, and you've got to keep yourself fit, positive, and keep motivated, because otherwise you won't be here for very much longer. And I've got friends who are in that position at the moment, who are really just slowly drinking themselves to death. We don't want that, do we? So, as always, if you've got any questions, then get in touch with me in the comments box, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the videos. There's lots more to tell you. I've got so much to tell you that is sort of mind-boggling in a way, because I've had so many experiences. From 15 to 62, I've been drinking. It's a long time. And it's not surprising that my body at one point says, well, no more. And this alcohol issue creeps up in you. And it's actually called, by a lot of medics, the silent killer, because some things aren't found out until you have another routine scan or something. Because a lot of people are quite happily drinking 4 or 5 pints a day, every day, and have no issues. But there's something going on within your body, because you can't get away with nothing happening, because all the time you're ingesting this poison into your system. Whether it's your stomach that gives up, your pancreas, your kidneys, your blood disorders. It's a class 1 carcinogenic. It causes all these issues, and we have it legally spread all over the newspapers, on TV adverts. It's available everywhere, even in garages. You can buy alcohol anywhere, 24 hours a day now. So let's get together and get some ideas together of how to keep people off the drink and lead a healthy life, because it's so much better. If you do have relapses, you do feel like drinking, think of how bad you felt the next day, how bad you felt 3 weeks later. Because once you pick one up, you'll pick 1,000 up. AA didn't do much for me, but there's AA, there's other support groups as well. There's lots of things you can do for yourself, but you've got to want to stop for yourself. And it's not easy, but you can do it. If I can do it, then you can do it. I'll speak to you all soon.